The results of the fourth ray activity upon the individual disciple. The disciples of the world today are submerged in an ocean of warring energies. The principle of conflict touches every life, is potent in the consciousness of each individual aspirant, and is conditioning the mass consciousness of mankind. Emotionally and physically, the masses in every land are aroused by this conflict. The disciples on earth and the thinking people everywhere are aroused mentally and as well as emotionally and physically, and hence the intensity of their problem. The point of crisis in the lives of disciples have, during the past few decades, been many. A point of tension has now been reached of an extreme nature. How rapidly can this tension bring about the needed point of emergence? Question mark. It is not my intention to deal at length with the effect of this conflict in the life of disciples. It deals with the most familiar story of all of them. The aspirants and the disciples are, from the angle of evolution, the most strictly human beings to be found in the fourth kingdom in nature, for the reason that mind, emotion, and physical activity are integrated or are in process of integration into one functioning whole. The disciple knows, however, that as a result of conflict, the complete harmonizing of his entire nature will be brought about. The fusion of soul and personality will be consummated, and for this he works. The same principle can also be applied by him in his consideration of general human affairs. He needs to see in all world conflict the needed steps towards an eventual harmony, a harmony based upon a true mental perception and a sound idealism. It is this process of developing mental understanding and a sound, rational, yet spiritual attitude which is now going on. The emergence of the many ideologies are the guarantee that the true idealism will eventually appear and control the ideal of right human relations. It is the struggle between emotional control and a steadily developing mind control which is conditioning mankind at this time. When a mental, an emotional, and a physical conflict are raging simultaneously, the results must necessarily be difficult, but they are surmountable. Today, the conflicts are numerous, vital, and unavoidable. They are present in the individual consciousness and in the mass consciousness. They present constant points of crises and are today bringing about a point of world tension which seems well near unbearable. But ahead of the individual disciple and humanity lies a point of emergence. What must the disciple do whilst the point of tension is dominating him and his fellow men? The answer is a simple one. Let each disciple and all groups of disciples develop the ability to think sanely, with right orientation and a broad point of view. Let them think truly, evading no issues, but preserving always a calm, dispassionate, and loving understanding. Let them demonstrate in their environment the qualities which will establish right human relations and show on a small scale the behavior which will someday characterize enlightened humanity. Let them not be discouraged, but let them hold firmly to the conviction of the inevitable spiritual destiny of humanity. Let them realize practically that the souls of men are one, and learn to look beyond the immediate outer seeming to the inner, and sometimes remote, spiritual consciousness. Let them know that the present world conflict will be terminated. The perfect outcome of the conflict will necessarily be lacking, for perfection is not yet possible to man. Nevertheless, a situation can be brought about which will permit the return of the Christ into objective relation with mankind, and which will enable him to set about his task of resurrecting the human spirit out of the tomb of materialism into the clear light of spiritual perception. For this, all men must work.